You are live.
All righty. Hi, families.
Hi.
Welcome back to the couch. What a day. Guys, we've had a very long Tuesday. Or is it Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday.
No, it is Wednesday.
It is
That
Wednesday.
should tell you.
Oh my.
So, what a
Yeah.
way to start this. So, guys, that's literally what we're going to really be talking about today is just like that. Where did time go? We're already at the end of the school year. Time is already flying by. And, as I like to say, time is an illusion. We only have the moments that are around us, so try to stay present. And that's how we're going to start this session today, guys. How do we get ready for school to be out, transitioning into summer camp? Think about it. This is why we're year-round school. Most of the time, the kids have already been burnt out. They're in public school. They're in your private school, wherever you may have them. And if you're not a year-round school, then we have that transition. Then we have the lag time. And what does that mean? That's the time where kids are like, wild animals at home. We don't have to go and wake up in the morning. And the parents are like, I still got to go to work. I still have to maintain my routine. So even though older kids may be staying at home, younger kids may be going to someplace different. That's still a transition. And like we had when, Miss Sylvia was talking about transitions last month at our live, if you haven't seen the parent training, make sure you go onto our Circle platform and watch that amazing parent training that Miss Sylvia did, because it gave tips and tools to prepare our kids for transitioning. Tonight, what I really want to focus on is though when our parents are in the crisis, because the kids they're wild now. School is out. I don't have to think. I don't have to wash dishes. I don't have to wash my clothes. Hold on. Wait a second. Because again, our kids do think that. They're on vacation.
They definitely think
that. So it's like, I don't have to go to school. I can wear the same clothes. No, you can't. I'm not going to have no stinky boy or girl in my class or in my house, So what do we do for our parents? And I want to start because I'm not going to talk a lot on this one. My energy is a little depleted. I've been teaching all day long to our amazing team. We've been doing a lot of heart math research and teaching, and the energy has been phenomenal. The changes we're seeing in our staff and the feedback has been amazing. Today was really good for me. I needed it. But at the same time, I'm like, I think I'm where a lot of our parents are going to be, is that, all right, well, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, and I'm great that it's the end of the day or end of the school year for you. But I think about my sister-in-law, and she has 3 boys, very close in age. I mean, it's like one boy, and boy moms have it rough anyway.
They're busy.
And something she said when we were sitting down, she was like, I've got to be prepared because I've got to have something scheduled. And this year she's not really as prepared as she has been in the past. And she's worried about it. And then I started thinking about, oh my gosh, all 3 of these boys are neurotypical. They can easily go into a summer camp. So many churches have vacation Bible school. There's so many available opportunities. But as soon as you put the ABC alphabet after the name of a child, or they need a little special attention, the available opportunities become much smaller. And summer then becomes crisis for a lot of our families and a lot of our parents, because they have to figure out, where can I take Johnny? Where can Sally go? And if you have a nonverbal child, it even makes this a lot worse, because you have to trust a brand new facility that don't know your kid. And you don't have a kid that can say, hey, mommy, I didn't like this today. They're going to say it to you in different ways, and you have to be higher focused on watching those things. But a lot of times, parents, we need to take a moment to give ourselves some grace that this transition between school being out and going into our summer program can be a doozy emotionally. It can be draining. Learn that you too need time to change, regulate to this new schedule. As a instructor, educator, practitioner, name it, all the above.
All the hats.
I really think that the best tip that we can give to parents is take a couple days pre-planned with your kid. And I don't care if they're not talking to you. All right, bud, we're out of school. This is great. I don't care if he's 16 and not talking or 4 and not talking. It's communicating. They're still listening. They're still comprehending that. Otherwise, they wouldn't be playing their video games, mom and dad. So let's just think about that for a moment. even though they may have no expressive language, if they can still play Mario, if they can still play on their little handheld, whatever it may be, they are cognitively understanding and communicating just a little differently.
Yep, absolutely.
So I'm going to pretend you're my 4-year-old.
Okay.
Okay, Manny, we're all done school. Oh my goodness, we get a break. Okay, so for the next couple days, you and mommy, we get to have a different schedule.
Oh.
So we can have breakfast together and we have playtime. And then I'm going to teach you how to say hi to Miss Regina. Miss Regina's going to play with us. Miss Regina may be the person that's going to be at the daycare camp. But Miss Regina should be coming from you to your child before the child meets Miss Regina.
Lovely.
Okay. The next part, do not let those couple days of party time extend. Remember, our children feed on structured environments, especially neurodivergent children that have come from a very structured academic setting. They're going to be looking for that. They're going to be looking for what comes next.
Yep.
And it's like Loki has talked on the couch. Being a neurodivergent person, one of the things for him is open free time. If he knows that at 8 o'clock is breakfast, at 9 o'clock is free time, at 10 o'clock, we're going to go play tennis, then at 11 o'clock, it's time for him to maybe read a book, or maybe it's his Discord time and he's going to meet up with his friends. What if that appointment gets canceled?
Mm-hmm.
That open space, even though it's something for him, that becomes a stressor. So taking it out of the mouth of a babe into our own homes, remember that though you can make it fun and though it can be different, our kids still need to know what comes next. And so that's going to be the way I start this transition of us going, into our summer months and to our families here, is just to let you know, have fun with it. But like everything, don't go in excess, because excess is always, it's like, don't eat. You can have the chocolate bar,
Mm-hmm.
but just don't eat 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
You can have a couple bonbons, just don't eat the whole ice cream tub.
Right.
But
Right.
that's the whole
It's
thing.
true. Yeah, it's just like even being overly structured in the summer. Are you overcompensating because you think, oh my God, they had structure in school and now I got to compensate more because now they're not going to have school.
Exactly.
Sometimes even overcompensating could be a detriment because they got to transition back to school.
So that, yes, I love that, because, it's the same way when we talk about a positive and the negative, it's the balance.
It's the balance. Yes.
Now, at the same time, I'm going to play devil's advocate. If we do have one of our little boogers, okay, and I got to push this down a little because I like seeing you and I'm short. So if we do have one of our little boogers, okay, that mom needs every hour scheduled.
Yep.
Okay.
It's for the mom.
For the mom.
Yes, for the mom. Yep.
Because for the mom, having every hour structured to her means I don't have a dead zone. And when idle hands.
Yep.
So know your child.
Know your child.
Okay. Your kids may need some free time. Oh, okay, good. We got to do family stuff until lunchtime, but then I get my free space. Yep, no problem. Even your older neurodivergent kids that have all their online friends, this is how you get that give and take. Be like, okay, you give me 3 hours of house time or outside time. You have the rest of the day on your electronics.
Yep.
It's their time and their vacation too. But what I am really wanting to get my parents to understand is that the worst thing you can do is go, okay, at 8 o'clock, I'm leaving. I'll be back at 5.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that really mean? Let them stay at home if you feel safe, okay? If that's your structure. But you can leave them items to do, a task list. And it can be something as small as just bringing your laundry downstairs or to the laundry room, putting your dishes into the sink if it's not something that they do normally. But there must be something that you are asking of them. And that's where the give and the take and the feedback is, because this is where we're building growth. You don't want the slide to happen. And that's what a lot of us, we deal with a lot of times, is that kids get out at the end of May and they don't come back until August or September. And if there is no structure at home, if there is no ask,
right,
then when they come back into the school environment and the teacher puts a demand on them, their body goes, I don't know how to respond to this.
Right.
And then you're going to get those calls. And then that first month of school becomes hell. You think the first month of summer break is hell, the first month going back to school is going to be it. So let's try to make it very, very copacetic on both. So give or take.
Yeah. I like that because, we talk about in schools, we talk about an IEP, right? An individualized education plan. So parents should really come up with an individualized summer plan. So I like that individualized approach because the little kid, little Johnny versus big Johnny, very different.
Correct.
Or a child that has high sensory needs versus a child that loves to play independently, very, very different. So having that individualized summer plan really sets everybody up for success. So mom and dad don't have to worry when they're at work.
So you mentioned that. So let's give our parents a couple tips and tricks.
Okay.
So how do you get your kids outside in the summertime? What if my kid's sensory? He doesn't want to go outside. I'm in Florida right now. We're already in summer. It was 98 degrees outside. That's why we're dressed the way we are, is because we're already in summer. We went from winter, spring, and summer's already here. So if you have a little booger that doesn't want to go out and sweat, guys, it's not Gen X time. We were locked out of the house, not this generation. No. Oh, I'm sweating. What is this? It's called perspiration, and it happens when we have physical activity. I don't know what that is. And we laugh about it, and we're joking about it, but it's a reality in a lot of homes.
I got one with that because Aiden was like that. So Aiden, when he first started staying at home in the summer, I think he was 10, his older sister was 12, and so on. We're like, okay, we feel comfortable, you can stay home, but you got to go outside. And we have a big old backyard, go outside, play outside. I don't want to go outside. That would be his response, right? So the way that I did it was I was like, all right, I just want you to go outside for a minimum of 30 minutes. And here's how you're going to prove it to me that you were there for 30 minutes. You're going to take this beautiful thing called a camera, and you're going to put it right there on the tripod, and you're going to film yourself playing outside. I don't care if you're just outside, just sitting outside. You're just going to be outside. So sure enough, first couple of weeks, you just sit outside, bake in the sun. I would say, don't sit in the sun. You're going to get sunburned, like get a shade or whatever. Then I threw a soccer ball in there. I threw a football out there. I threw a volleyball out there. I threw balloon.
I gotcha.
Bubbles, whatever. And he started, you can see him on the video, like reluctantly wanting to do that stuff. His sister would go out there with him and so on. But it made it fun. But I made it a requirement first and prove it to me that you are doing what I'm asking you to do. And it was actually other than one or two chores in the day, that was the only thing I asked him to do.
Okay. Now that's a key component there. So moms and dads, one of the biggest things that we need to actually look at is, are we asking too much? Okay. I just taught this entire lesson today on balanced care versus overcare. And it's so funny because so many times we go into overcare mode, which means I have these unrealistic expectations of the true situation. So like you were saying, that was the only task that you really, except for one or two things. Mom and dad, if you give them 25 chores and they're going to do 2, you're setting them up for failure. So let's find something that would be rewarding to you as the parent if you came home and you knew this was done. So like you said, if the goal is to get some physical activity going on, get you outside. I love, put it on film. You have to make it that this is not an option. No, this is what I am asking for you to do while I'm trusting you to be home. I love how you added the components to it. So you saw the video, you watched, he was participating. So then you were like, oh, well, let me throw some balls out here. It'll be something that he can do. Parents, we can do that. If your kid isn't into sports, coloring, it builds fine motor skills. How about the next one? I got one for you that you're going to laugh, because if the kid is staying at home, then they're already in that situation. Maybe it's neurotypical. Because remember, guys, this doesn't have to be just neurodivergent.
That's right.
Your neurotypical brother, sister is sitting at home. And they're on the Discord. They're on the Xbox. They're on the PlayStation. I'm trying to cover all. They're on the Switch. How about that? Any electronic interface, they're on it. But you just want them to go play outside. Okay? I'm not as nice as Manny. I would send them on a scavenger hunt. I need you to go get me 50 pieces of grass.
That's
50.
Good. I like that.
That's right. Pick them up, 50. Leave them right here for me. I need you to go find me something that is in the yard that shouldn't be in the yard.
I like that.
You've got to get them engaged, and they're on a mission. And then after that, it's all your time. Because I'm finding something that would, number one, help the child grow and develop. not put the pressure of 25 different items on there.
Mhm.
Or what I like from Love and Logic is here are 5 things you can do today. I'm only asking you to do 3. Pick the 3 that you want. I will be happy of any of these 5. Pick 3 of them. So what have we done? If we have a child that has an oppositional defiant disorder. So I do like people to tell me, don't tell me what to do. We have a
Mhm.
lot of those boogers.
Yep.
As soon as you tell me what to do, I'm not going to do it.
Mhm.
But if I have to choose, I'll do it all day long. But as soon as Manny says, Pam, you need to finish this report, that's the last thing Pam is going to do. Do you have some kids at your house that do that? You may, they love it, but because you asked them to do it, it's not
It's not going to happen.
No.
Right.
I go back always to broccoli.
Mm.
You know, as a parent, even in my house, even my own self, I can't stand broccoli. It just instantly, it's a sensory thing. And so I think about, we need you to eat your greens, eat your broccoli, you know, and then I'm old school. So I'm in my head, the old school song, jumping broccoli, you know, and I'm like, okay, but yet if a kid sits beside his neighbor and his friend and him are best buddies, and he's eating the broccoli and he's sticking it in cheese or whatever they do, and you know, little Johnny or Sally is going to be like, well, I don't like broccoli. Oh, it's so good. You just don't eat it the right way, or your mom don't cook it the right way. Try this. And then they've got the broccoli, and the next thing you know, they're asking you to cook trees at home. Differences between peers and parents. So parents, remember, you're not their best friend. Don't be their best friend.
Mhm.
You're not here to be the best friend. You're here to be the parent. So be the parent with the friendly, welcoming chore list. These are the things I'd like you to get done. And then guess what? If they get all 5, heavily reward. Heavily reward because they didn't have to.
That's right.
But they, well, why did you do all 5? Oh, I was bored. I didn't have anything else to do. Well, guess what? Tomorrow you only have one thing to do. Thank you so much. This helped me out. I'm so grateful for you. Oh my gosh, after work, I'm just so pleased and I didn't have to do this and you did it on your own. See, heavily reward. I'm not
Mhm.
telling you to give them anything.
But
Is
something
reward.
but something you
the
just
praise.
said, I think, is also important. Is it helped me out? So I like that connection with the kids and the parents. Sometimes we forget that we are asking for them to be involved and help us
Yes.
out, because at the end of the day, I don't want to touch a dish. I don't want to clean the windows. I don't want to vacuum the floor. And by them doing something,
Ooh, there's a word for that. What are we having them do? Take ownership.
Ownership, yes.
You know, we think about it when employees have their workspace. I'm a big advocate of making your workspace your home. So I don't care if that means, John, I'm looking right at you, baby. If you got to bring your Star Wars collection in, you know, that's your jam. I'm a Doctor Whovian. So I got Doctor Who, and my TARDIS is with me at all times. You know, I'm the only person I know that named her car the TARDIS. You know, my chat is Bad Wolf,
Bad
you know,
Wolf, yeah.
Time Lord and Bad Wolf. But that is part of me. It's part that I can be outside of the normal Pam. What I would like everyone to do, think about their kids, think about their workspace, think about their home space, is the individuality. You want that to shine,
Yes.
and you want them to feel comfortable. So even in this aspect of our family dynamic, whether you're neurotypical or neurodivergent, these children just want to be part of the family.
And for the parents, it makes it that much better, right? You're teaching them a life lesson of what it means to be part of a family,
Yeah.
and what it means to take responsibility, and to take some responsibility off the parent, even if it's just one small thing.
So think about how we can build on that. So you're wondering, how do I transition from being at school to being at home? What do I do? My kid just thinks that they don't have to do anything for the rest of the summer. I'm on vacation, Mom. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not. I still have to go to work, and you get to be home all day. Or guess what? We're going to take you to this camp. That's still a change, even if it's a camp you're going into now. So now we've handled the at home, but
Mhm.
let's look now. Now I have a transition. I'm going to a different camp. The first thing we have to talk about, do the camp adults, because sometimes it's ran by kids.
Mhm.
Are
Teenagers,
they
yeah.
aware of your child?
Mhm.
Okay. So what does that mean? Sometimes you may have to do an about me page. It is a new environment. You're taking your child into a different facility that isn't used to being with your child who has his own or her own unique abilities.
Mhm.
So therefore, do an about me page. Like, hey, this is my amazing kid. I'm going to use Loki so that we can have names. This is my amazing kid, Loki. He doesn't like to drink anything with raw milk because he will get sick. He doesn't take and have bee stings. Why? Because he's allergic. Oh, but by the way, he runs and he jumps and he's a people pleaser. This is it. But see, I've already handled what he can't have. I've already handled he's going to run and he's going to jump, and this is what he does. But he also likes to please people. So engage in him. You don't have to tell them your child's life story, but the things that make them unique, you should share. And
Yeah.
don't share it as a negative. Praise them for this. Hey, my child gets nervous around new people, but he's so friendly and wants to make friends. When he's nervous, he may need a little help introducing himself to other people.
Yeah.
Boom. The next part, the child is just as nervous as you are. So take a moment to breathe. That wonderful thing we're talking about. Because if you are already perseverating on, oh my gosh, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know how this is. And this, before you even drop him off, and you feel like even while I'm talking, it's like, and what if, do you not think Johnny in the back seat isn't going to pick up on mommy's energy? And then that's when you go to drop off and they're like, no, I don't want it to go. But yet, some days they can drop off and they're fine. What's your energy in the car before you go to drop off?
Yeah.
It will make the biggest difference. If you are anxious, your child's going to be anxious. If you are anxious, tell the child, oh my goodness, Johnny, mommy is just as excited about this camp as you are. Are you excited about meeting people? And if they're nonverbal, keep talking. So many times I talk to families and they're like, I'm talking, but he's not talking back. And? Okay. Don't you have that aunt that just keeps talking and doesn't know when to shut up? Well,
Right.
guess what? Become the aunt. Can you see the kid up in the mirror? So pretend he's answering you. Why? Because you're modeling the behavior so that he can answer you, so she can answer you. Or how about this? Even when she doesn't have her words or he doesn't have her words, you're expressing the feeling that's in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So you're using your words to advocate for them. Ooh, we are so excited. Can you feel that? Because maybe they are nervous and they don't know what that feeling is. So put the words there for them, especially for our lower functioning children.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot because we talk about it in early intervention with a lot of our kiddos that don't speak. Be the narrators of their world, right? That's the whole purpose of them learning language, but maybe they don't know how to express it, or maybe they don't have a great deal of verbal repertoire. They just have a couple of words or a couple of utterances,
Yeah.
but be the narrator of their life.
Absolutely. And I'm going to trigger because you just went into the video. I keep thinking about you asking, Aiden to video.
Mm-hmm.
Video modeling is huge, and I don't see it enough in therapeutic rooms, situations when I talk to parents, whether it's occupational, speech, or ABA therapy. A lot of times our children don't know how to model play. So if you hand them Legos, because all kids nowadays know what Legos are,
Mhm.
parents do that are listening. If you hand them some Legos, and whether they're the Duplos, which are the bigger blocks, sometimes our neurodivergent kids just kind of look at them and then look back at you.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call it the Rottweiler tilt, because if you've ever been around Rottweilers and you kind of do something, they'll kind of tilt their head and literally like a human, kind of like, did you really do that? And it's the same thing with our kids. They'll look at it and look back up at you, and then they'll look, and then they'll go to playing something here. So sometimes, mom and dad, you have to get the camera out. And now I don't want to hear an excuse, because we all have cell phones.
Right.
There's cameras everywhere. Technology is amazing. So set the cell phone up. Mom and dad, play with the Legos. Build the Lego castle. And then let them watch mom and dad, because you're different when you're in a movie.
Hmm.
That's not mom and dad. Now I'm watching, oh, that looks like mommy and daddy. I'm watching a movie, because the disassociation between the movie screen and the real person is another thing a lot of our kids struggle with. It can be why you can go see, the Easter Bunny, or, Mickey Mouse,
Mm-hmm.
or Superman now, the Avengers. I'm thinking of these adult costume characters can be very aversive to a lot of our children, because they don't understand.
Right.
That's a movie character. You're a real person. And they may look at you like you're an idiot if you're dressed up in costume, because they don't. They're like, why are you dressed up
Yeah.
as Bugs Bunny? You're a human. We don't think of that. We enjoy
Right.
it. It's because we're playing fiction, but so many times our kids are concrete learners. So pulling from the abstract, meaning pulling from the air for them to understand a concept, is something they can't do. So be careful of those things. And how do you be careful of them? Make fun of it together. Be like, I know, baby, that's an adult, but he likes Bugs Bunny a whole lot. And the kid may not have it, but may look at you like, those faces that now we use as our as our triggers to make us smile. Those are the things you hold on to, because that's the laughter together. It's like I'm right now, I'm laughing thinking about the Easter Bunny, and it triggers a great emotional response when Loki had to look at me. Parents, please enjoy this one. So when he started talking, like I told you, it goes very fast. We've seen that. Once they open the door to communication, it's normally a 3-month window is like a year of growth real fast. And he's sitting up in the car, and we've now discussed that there are people that like to dress up on all types of occasions. And this one just happened to be someone dressing up outside of Easter as the Easter Bunny. I'm trying to save our kids, parents, you understand what I'm doing. And Loki just sits up like a big proud boy, and he's like proud to tell mommy something. Mom, yeah, you do know that Easter bunnies don't poop jelly beans. No, I didn't know that, but thank you. Yeah, Mom, that's not real, And I say that to you all because those are the conversations I want you to have with your kids. Those are those funny moments that if you see them a little skittish, we do crazy stuff at bus drop off. All right. So they may see something at a camp they're going to that is something they're not used to.
Yep, just out of the norm. Yep.
They may see the administrator dressed up like the 80s in the punk funk, the hair and the Tula skirts, just trying to get everybody all riled up. And if your kid gives you that face I'm giving you right now, then you got to be like, yeah, Miss Tracy, she's a kid. She's just dressing up. Oh, okay. Because they want to know is what's wrong with her.
Right.
Yeah, she's a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's okay, but she's having fun.
Right.
And that's what you have to say to your kids as well. What does that do? You've now made their quirks, their uniqueness, fun. You see, now when they start jumping or stimming or spinning in circles or making some vocal sounds that most other people don't make, now you can tell them, but remember Miss Tracy that dresses up as a bunny rabbit? Yeah, everybody can. We have fun. This is how you have fun.
Exactly.
That's what we're doing. Normalize this because remember, we're each unique. And I'm telling you, then you can tell the rest of them, we all have different things that we like. Some of us go public with it, some of us don't. But we all do. And if people truly knew what made you tick, if they knew what made me tick, they think I'm weird too. And that's okay. I'll sit right in with that wonderful. John, I don't know where the generation gap is. Somebody asked me one time, they said, are you a nerd or a geek? Sorry, we got some vibration. Somebody's motorcycle. Are you a nerd or a geek? And I think about this in our neurodivergent population. Nowadays, could that have been us back in the day? And be like, oh, well, the nerdy girl, Pam. Okay, that was aptitude, editor of the school paper, Now the geeky girl, Pam, is live long and prosper. And can you speak Klingon? As I focus to my sister, for years, we had Klingon as one of the passwords. I mean, that really gets you to official geek status. But it's the same way. If we look at nerd and geek, wouldn't we really be looking at neurotypical and neurodivergent? Do you see? I mean, but it's sending all the love to Carrot Top out there. How many times were the redheads the Carrot Tops? Now it's cool because Carrot Top is this famous guy, and I'm like, oh, I hated it. Don't you call me a Carrot Top? And my son still is, I'm a strawberry blonde. We all have preferences, but it is allowing our children to understand that their preferences and their uniqueness is what makes them special. Okay? Not different, not less than, but special. And when we start to transition into new camps, new environments, we need to keep going back to that to build up our kids instead of building them down.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's tying the whole preferential the preference assessment kind of work in ABA, right? So tailor that summer plan so that it's an individualized summer plan to their preferences, make it fun, but make it enjoyable and make it meaningful.
And don't just do whatever the neighbors are doing.
Right.
You know, that because that is another thing that we
Mhm.
deal with a lot of times. I'll have a parent come in and be like, "Hey, Miss Pam, do you have a second?" And I'm like, "Sure. What's going on?" Well, I was talking to my friend, and sorry, my twang comes out whenever I got to pull this reference because normally it's somebody back home that's like, "Well, you know, and they were doing this and this and this, and he's not doing this yet." And I'm like, "And well, should he be?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Is that something you want him to do?" Like, why are you judging what he's doing based on your friend that lives down the road and they've got, and I was like, and is it, are they the same age? No. Well, when he was her age. Oh, yeah, sure. Okay. You know, it's the same way when we talk about early intervention based on whose guidelines.
Mhm.
You know, you did the great one when we were talking about BMI.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, by whose guidelines
Who's
are you
right.
judging me by?
Mhm.
You know, are you judging me on a 5'1" person? Do you get what I mean? A
Yep.
female that has my exact structure and my exact body style, and you're telling me that her and I should be the same? Yeah, okay, right. I got some. I don't know what I got to sell
Same
you.
thing with
but-
like typical child development.
exactly.
Like, does that even that's always thrown me off because my child doesn't develop the same as anybody else.
No, you know, going back to, you know, the 60s and 70s when all parents read the book by Dr. Spock on how to be a great parent. Yeah, throw that shit out the window because
Mhm.
that's right there with all the vaccines and all the we're not as generation the same.
Nope.
Don't treat your kids the same, guys. That's what we're going to. I want to wrap up this episode today with that. Remember, life has changed since we were in school. The world has changed.
Yeah.
Technology, environments, we are not in the same place as when you were in this environment that your child is now living in. So, just like our environment is unique, your child is unique. And remember, whether you are allowing the child to stay home for the summer, transitioning into a new camp for the summer, spending time with family members over the summer that they're not used to, the biggest tip that you can do in any of this transition is to communicate. You must communicate. Do not let anything come as a last minute surprise, because the last minute surprises in our field and in our demographic can be the chaos.
Right.
And even if your child doesn't talk back, you still talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's my tips and tips.
I think that's a lovely tip. I mean, it falls into planning. You know, if you're not, I think parents that have gone through these transitions multiple times with their kids are probably getting better every year at the planning part.
That's my sister-in-law, because now she's going, oh, I'm not planning for this summer. I don't know what I'm going to do. And she's the one in panic.
Right.
So that's when I'm like, oh, you need to breathe, because your BLT group is going to pick up on that real fast and they're going to eat you alive.
Right. And so just like we teach our teachers on the power of planning for your kids in your classroom, parents should plan ahead.
Absolutely. So guys, from our couch to yours, make sure you like, subscribe, because this is on YouTube now.
Yep.
I mean, we are really making this. Guys, we are so excited, because not only are the work that we're doing here in Florida, guys, it's not just hitting here. We're going nationally and globally. We have some subscribers that are already hitting us up that are like, share this. We need it in South Carolina. So that's a shout out to you, Mama. We heard you. We're posting. We will make it available. Make sure you get your information over to us so that we can get you on our community as well. And that's to all the families that are listening. Remember, we have the Circle community so that we can be with like-minded individuals with no judgment and no fear. So guys, from our couch to yours, we'll see you next month.